Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome to the new viewers of Angelo's Tennis. If you're new here, this video might not be for you. You want to go back and watch some of my other videos. For those of you that have been watching my videos, if there is even any of you, this is for you specifically. And tennis has become, like everything else in life, a religion. That's right. This is about tennis, the religion of the people, especially older people. But really, it's not even older people. It is a majority of people in tennis. They are held back. That's what that means, religion. It means to hold back. Okay, that's what the word means. Relegare, to hold back. And that's what tennis has become with this yellow ball, with this idea of feeding. And I'm going to explain in this video how this works, especially this idea of feeding, technique, how techniques developed. The idea of I can go out on a tennis court and teach somebody technique. This is a religion. It is old, it's ancient, and it's still prevalent. It's still in the majority in tennis. And for some reason, you people just can't get it. And I'm going to go through some of those reasons why you can't get it. Number one, the first problem, the first and maybe only problem is that you people think that everyone should be using a yellow ball and playing on a full court. And I'm going to put this up on the screen, what a real tennis club would look like in an ideal situation. You'd have at minimum 3 different size courts, permanent. Okay, at minimum, you'd have a red court, what's known as a mini tennis court, a red ball court, 36 feet. You'd have a 60-foot orange ball court, and you'd have a 78-foot full-size court that could be used for green ball and yellow ball. And they wouldn't be, those lines you see, all them fucking lines that people complain about that don't matter anyway. They don't bother anybody. On the tennis court will be gone because there's 3 in an ideal situation. And there are ideal situations out there. There's many clubs and parks that have so much money. They don't want to do it. They don't do it because the people don't want it. But they have so much money they could do this no problem. You need permanent, those 3 courts permanent, no fucking lines. And there's a good reason why they need to be permanent. And this is where it gets into the religion, this ancient idea. If you're playing somebody and you're on a full-size court and you're playing yellow ball and they can't play with you, keyword play, they cannot play with you. Or you're being annoyed, one person's being annoyed, this guy can't play, let's stop and start. Let's say you're a coach, you're coaching them, you're just a friend coaching them, whatever. They can't play. Well, we need to start working on your technique. We need to stop and start feeding you balls until you get it. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Right then and there, that person should be playing with a green ball or an orange ball. Take an adult, for example, can't play. Right there and then, off to the orange ball court. You're not at the full ball court anymore. So you take them down to the orange ball court. You do the same thing that you were just doing. You try to play tennis. And now you're successful. Now you're playing a great game of tennis. Everyone's having fun. They're loving tennis. It's not boring. They're learning all the stuff that I talk about, which I'm not going to get into this video. And you play for a while. How long's a while? Well, I have another video on how long it takes to actually learn tennis. And a while could be a year. And you let them play for a year on the orange ball court. And then here's where the religion comes in. Well, they're building bad habits. Because this is where the vision, the eyes are tricking the people. They're building bad habits. I can see they're doing this wrong and they're doing that wrong. They're not doing absolutely anything fucking wrong. Okay, you let them go. You leave them alone. And this is how you build a tennis program. This is how you build a tennis program amongst the masses who don't know shit about tennis. This keeps them in the game. This is how you build a tennis program where there's so many people coming to your club. You're so full that you have to build new courts. You leave them alone. They're not doing anything wrong, and you let them play. Here's another thing that people will say. I've heard this many times. Well, they're going to have to change to the yellow ball at some point. And, or the yellow balls or the orange balls feels bad. It's screwing them up, or it's screwing me up. Usually it doesn't come from the customer. It usually comes from the person it comes from the person who's got this thing in their head, this in their mind that's holding them back. Well, the orange ball is hard to play with, and it's messing me up, and it's gonna mess me up. I need to be playing yellow ball, or they might even project that onto somebody else. That's gonna mess them up. Or take it down to the mini tennis, the red ball. Like, oh, that's because you're not adaptable. You're not flexible. You're living in your religion that you keep in your mind. You want your beliefs. You want to keep these beliefs real. They're not real because you haven't tried what I'm talking about. You haven't given it enough time, because the brain is called learning. See, watching this video isn't really learning in tennis. This is theory. This isn't practice. You put the things that I'm talking about into practice over long periods of time, weeks, months, years. You change your brain, and you no longer live in the religion that you're fixed neurons in your brain, okay? They're fixed neurons that you don't want to change. You choose not to change because of your religion. You do what you suggest. You actually attempt to learn from this video and change your religion. You will find, if you have the courage, that nothing bad's going to happen. It's not going to ruin your game. It's not going to ruin your forehand. Okay? This is the same. This is what it comes down to. If you have the courage to do this, to think like this over time, you'll see the truth. If you don't, you'll continue to live in your tiny little world that you think is actually the reality, because there's so many people who believe in this. So to sum this up, really one video is not enough, but to sum this up, if you have to hit off of a feed because you're not good enough, you don't belong on that court. You belong on a 60-foot court playing orange ball, or a mini tennis court, 36-foot playing whatever the fucking ball you use, smaller court. If you have to hit off of a feed, you're not good enough. Your skills aren't developed. You need to develop your skills on the mini tennis court through play, not through someone feeding you, telling you what to do. If you're playing somebody, if you have to hit off a feed because you're in a clinic, you're in a group or whatever, not all the players, you start hitting with them and they can't play with you. You're playing yellow ball full court, they can't play with you. They're missing, etc. You need to go play an orange ball. You need to play a smaller court. You need to adapt to them. You don't revert to the feed. You don't, even as a coach, even as a coach doing a group lesson, you don't do the feed. You revert to you're the lowest kid in the group. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. You got a bunch of kids. There's a few of them that can't play. There's a couple that are better than others, etc. You go to the orange ball, where it neutralizes the game, and now they can play a game of tennis. The one that doesn't, had the little kid who's got a religion, who thinks he's better than everyone, that he's 11 years old and he plays yellow ball now. Too bad. See you later. Take a hike. You don't want to go down and neutralize the game. You want to hit off a feed. Take a hike. You're just like everybody. You're just like these people I'm talking about. 11 years old. Never want to talk to you again. That's what you do. You're playing with someone. You're playing with somebody. You're like me. You're going out to the court today. You're gonna play with someone, and it's they're not as good as you, etc. They can't play with you. And let's say I don't feel like adjusting my technique or adjusting the way I play, whatever. I go on a 60-foot court and I play orange ball with them. I play mini tennis with them. Now it's fun. Now it's a game of tennis. Now everyone's happy. Okay, I don't ask them to come up to my level. That's not how it works. And this is why the feed, again, is non-existent. You do this, there's never any feeds, ever. And that's how it works.